Today, I want to share something that I hear all the time. Is podcasting right for me? And honestly, it's a very valid question, especially if you are swamped with one-on-one work, you are doing all your marketing, plus juggling a million of other things. Adding a podcast can feel like adding one more thing to your full plate. And who has time for that? Welcome to Step Into Your Voice, a podcast for women and business moms who are ready to stop dimming their light and start showing up with courage, clarity, and confidence. I am your host, Nina Makaria, and here is something I heard recently. I really don't remember who said it, but it really stuck with me. You can't add something to your plate unless you take something off. Otherwise, hello burnout, overwhelm, and no real progress. And maybe sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes life creates a little window of opportunity for you. And then what do? Go for it. Jump. Lean in. And I will share in a few minutes how something got taken off my plate and how that opened the space for my own podcast. In this episode, I don't want to be the one who is going to answer to this question, is podcasting the right fit for me? I'm going to walk you through a series of questions, and at the end, you will have the answer yourself. First question: do you actually have the time and bandwidth to do a podcast? Before anything else, you need a super honest answer here. If you're curious, if you feel the pull, great. But can you realistically make the time for it right now? I actually recommend doing a time audit. Do it for a week minimum, ideally 2 weeks. Track everything: your client work, admin work, your marketing tasks, your let me just hop on Instagram for a little minute, family responsibilities, self-care, drop-offs, pickups, dinners, dentist appointments, you name it. Track everything. Once you will have everything laid out, you will have a clear picture of where your time is truly going and what could be shifted or released. When I was looking at my calendar, there was no time for me to add a podcast on my to-do list. When I started my own podcast, I literally had something removed from my plate. Not because I wanted to. One of my clients hired an OBM, a new OBM, who came with her own team. So it made sense for my client to let me go. Someone on the team could do the work I used to do for her. Even though that hurt a bit, I remembered thinking, well, what if I'm going to use this time to create my own podcast? What if I'm going to treat my podcast like one of my clients? In full honesty, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it and I feel a little bit more organized. And now that we are approaching the end of the year, you might be doing your yearly recap or your year in review, and I think this is a perfect moment for you to look at your plate and ask yourself, do I have the time to do this? Is there something I can let go of, or what can I release to make room for this podcast? Second question: do you actually feel called to do this? Not pressured, not pushed by a coach or a biz bestie who says, oh my God, I started my own podcast and you should too. No, this thing has to come from you. Do you feel called to do it? Do you feel called to say something meaningful? Do you feel like you have a message that matters? Do you feel that little nudge? This could actually help someone today. And listen, if you think you have to be the most chattier person in the world, look at me, trust me, I am far from being that person. And here I am doing my podcast. I'm recording episode number 7 and only recorded one interview so far. So apparently, yes, I have ideas and I have things to say that I believe are meaningful for an online business mom. And for the longest time, I thought I wasn't creative, but here I am recording solo episodes. Sometimes the calling is quiet. Sometimes it's just a little nudge. Sometimes it's just a sense of, what if my message could help another mom out there? If you feel that, even a little, that's your sign to consider starting a podcast. Third question. Do you understand the time commitment? Let's talk practical. What does it actually take to make a podcast? If you are doing everything by yourself, planning, recording, editing, show notes, uploading, maybe a couple of social media clips, I would say, and let's break this down, I would say 30 minutes to prep the episode. Then maybe it's going to take you 15-20 minutes to record the actual solo episodes. Here I am talking about solo episodes. If you want to do interviews, then maybe you will need a little bit of more extra time for you to do the research on your guests. Maybe you put together a Google form to gather all their information, the reminders that you need to send them to be there on the day of the recording. And then I do believe that editing interviews is going to take you a little bit longer. They are a little bit more difficult to edit than the solo episodes. Then you have the editing, and here I would say to double your recording time or even triple it if you are learning a new tool. If you are not familiar with video or audio editing, I think it's going to take you a little bit longer. So consider to triple the amount of time that you used to record the episode. And then maybe even a little bit extra if you edit the interviews. And then maybe another 15 to 20 minutes to write the show notes, upload the recording, and share the episodes, and some extra time if you do the captions for the social media clips to promote your episode. So roughly I would say we are looking at around 90 minutes to 2 hours per weekly episodes. And if you want to hire an editor, someone like me, I would say that you can bring that down to about an hour, only the time that you will need to plan and record the episodes, because I can take care of the rest. Could you start with bi-weekly episodes? Absolutely. But in my experience, unless you already have an engaged large audience, weekly episodes will build trust and consistency much faster. Time audit will tell you which option fits you best. It's your life, your business. Maybe you are in a different stage than I am right now. I am trying to release weekly episodes, and I do have a client who is releasing bi-weekly episodes, and she recently celebrated 75,000 downloads, which is an amazing milestone. So it can work. If this is your best option, you can start from there. Fourth question, are you willing to get visible? If you are tired of keeping up with social media trends, if you are not a lip syncing, pointing at text kind of person, then podcasting could be a good option for you. But you must be willing to share your heart. Not everything, obviously. We all have our own boundaries that we can put in place. but you need to be willing to share your stories, your experiences, your lessons, your wisdom. And I remember that there was a time when I was afraid of sharing things about myself on social media, let alone on a podcast, because I was so afraid of being judged. But now podcasting became for me this gentle, safe space where I can slowly start expressing myself again. And I'm not looking to put out there my most polished version. I really want to put my honest version. Fifth question: where do you want to spend your creative energy? That creative energy that allows you to connect with your ideal clients. Let's be honest, I know I cannot be the only one who spends way too much time editing a 60 seconds reel or a carousel and then wake up and you realize, oh my god, 2 hours have passed. When? And for what? I don't even remember what's the lifespan of a reel, but I can tell you that your podcast episode is way longer than that. If you are willing to invest your creative energy, why not putting it into a podcast episode? Something that builds connection, depth, and long-term visibility. A podcast can let you do that. And bonus points, you will not know unless you try. So you don't have to make a lifetime commitment. You can start with simply committing to 90 days of podcasting. So test this idea for the next 90 days. And you can host your podcast for free on Buzzsprout for 90 days. Only after those 90 days, you will have to upgrade to a paid plan in order for you to keep all your episodes. So record, experiment, see how it feels, and then ask yourself, did I grow? Did I enjoy this? Did this help me connect with my audience? Did I discover something new about myself? Is this a direction I want to continue? And then maybe you might surprise yourself. You might find out you are creative. You might love the conversations you are part of. You might get messages from strangers telling you, this episode helped me so much. I really loved your episode because of XYZ. Podcasting, it's a discovery journey. And the only way to know is to begin. If you decide after watching this video that podcasting might be actually a good fit for you, leave me a comment and tell me. I would love to support you and guide you as you take the first steps on this journey. See you next time.